The December 9th promotion that took place with Haney versus Prograis could possibly be easily the single promotion of the year. These two men came together for the WBC title that Prograis possessed. Let's talk about this promotion and what it meant to boxing. From the onset, the promotion that took place between Regis Prograis and Devin Haney for their December 9th matchup showed that even the little guys can get it on in boxing and have all eyes be set upon them. In what I'm deeming right now easily the biggest promotion of 2023 in boxing, outside of the big boys, who will be in an upcoming promotion December 9th from Saudi called the Day of Reckoning. These men, where all eyes were not necessarily on them, but their status in the sport holds heavy weight because Regis Prograis is a two-time 140-pound world titleist, and he has been in the thick of the meanness of the division in a meaningful way. Haney, who was recently undisputed at lightweight, had moved up to challenge Regis for his particular world title in order to become a two-time world champion. As these men came together for their promotion, what was taken into consideration was the fact that their differing backgrounds and philosophies in their approach to their profession is what was laid before the masses. Even though I found some of the rhetoric during their promotion not to my taste, it still was successful. It still produced enough anticipation that people came out to support this particular event. When it was held at the venue, the promotional companies had to open up for extra seating, something that you don't necessarily hear about in the sport of boxing, where when they project a certain size crowd for the event, then they had to open it up and allow for more seating. Usually when the biggest names in the sport, Canelo or AJ, guys like that are facing their opponents, they can bank on a certain crowd following and a certain arena capacity. But in this one, and I think a lot of it came from their pressers, people were chomping at the bit to see what was going to happen. Prograis came into this being noted as a man with a punch. With the knockouts that he has on his record, he gets rid of people. And though he dropped the decision a few years back against Josh Taylor, that loss never was avenged, but people had looked forward to him showing his wares and showing what he could do going forward. Haney, in this event, decided that he had done enough at lightweight and didn't want to go through the politics of whether or not the other lightweights wanted to compete with him, compete economically with him, and challenge his status as far as where his box office is. So he decided to go forward and secure his own legacy by becoming a multiple division champion. And what greater way to seek out these dragons to slay than to go after the man who was considered the man at 140 pounds, Regis Prograis. So when this fight was made, many people twisted their lips at the fact that this fight was being made, being very dismissive of Haney. There were some who were trying to promote the fact that he didn't really beat Vasil Lomachenko. Though the fight was close, Haney won it hands down. But that had a lot to do with those who really don't necessarily care for the fighter and his dad for their varying reasons. Prograis, who had looked for a big name opponent because he is looking to start making the type of money a two-time world champion would come to expect. And though he thought that Haney was young and still a little unproven at an elite level, that he would be no problem, so he decided to accept the challenge. But there was some reservation going into this, and it really spoke to whether or not Regis was confident in his ability to deal with this young boxer who many behind the scenes consider a great deal like Floyd Mayweather was when he was young and chasing world champions around the sport. People were avoiding him like the plague because of his talent, his youth, and the fact that he sought out greatness himself. And so December 9th came, and with it came a coronation. The type of coronation that you actually remember from days of old in the sport of boxing, when someone who is actually challenging for legacy, when someone is competing for something more than just the money, when they're competing for prestige, the acknowledgement of the gifts that they bring to the ring, their hard work, labor, and efforts being paid off, the passing of the baton, something that I have spoken about on numerous occasions. We saw that on December 9th when Regis Prograis found out early in this fight that the young upstart Devin Haney was better than advertised. Not only being better than advertised, but better than what he had been viewed to be by the masses. Haney is the type of fighter who's a throwback. You can put him back in previous eras because he's going to try to do what he can to be a part of the conversation. And now the conversation is, what is his ceiling? In the aftermath of this particular promotion, Regis Prograis acknowledged he was better than I thought. And a little bit of humble pie went along with what preceded the beginning of the fight, where they talked about Haney being a silver spoon type kid growing up and not getting it out of the mud. Well, he did in this event, and Regis helped make it a successful one. So kudos to both men for what they brought in this fight, and I look forward to what's next for both of them, and the year is still not over. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.